Welcome back to Ask Abundance. Today I'm joined by Kim Wheeler-Poitevin. Kim's been doing one-on-ones with Abundance for many years. If you want to hop into her schedule, you can do so with the link in the show notes, or you can get in touch with me on social. Here's today's question. I know I'm supposed to show up online more if I want to keep my practice steady, but every time I try, it feels either way too personal or painfully cringe. I don't want to overshare my life or turn into someone I don't recognize just to attract clients. At the same time, staying invisible doesn't feel like an option if I want this practice to last. How do I market in a way that feels ethical, grounded, and actually like me without oversharing or hating myself afterwards? I think this is so good. Before we get into it, I want to thank our sponsor, Therapy Notes. I've talked about them for years and know their features by heart. What truly sets them apart is that they genuinely care about your experience. It's not just about troubleshooting. They actively implement user-suggested features like therapy search, secure messaging, and their AI Notes feature Therapy Fuel. Everybody at Therapy Notes believes in the product and they want you to love it too. Plus, they're independently owned, which means no venture capital and no pressure to prioritize investors over customers. This independence allows them to keep their prices fair, to focus on innovation, and to prioritize customer experience. With over 100,000 therapists already on board, they've proven that you don't have to compromise success for quality. If you're ready to see for yourself, try Therapy Notes free for 2 months with the code ABUNDANT at therapynotes.com. All right, Kim, what do you think?
Well, I mean, we all know that you're the expert at this one. You're definitely, your online presence is magnificent. But um, as a person who I can be and start and stop, hello ADHD. I know that you have to, if you're going to be, online, you have to be consistent. But you also have to find something that's going to be authentic for you.
Mhm.
And I think that back when I was making content, it was more so like whatever it was that really motivated me. And then for that time, I was pretty consistent about it.
Mhm.
And that you don't have to put your personal life into something, but you can say, okay, is this a thing that I'm genuinely interested in? And am I going to um, just speak to this person as if I was speaking to a client?
Mhm.
Hopefully, you're authentic when you're with your clients. And I think that that's kind of the way that I really approach those particular things. I think that we have to kind of figure out what it is that a person is thinking that they have to be and how they need to present themselves and what they think is a professional or a authentic source,
Mhm.
or a person that would um, get business versus who they really are, and really
Mhm.
kind of get comfortable with you know yourself. Try with other people that you actually know and see if it actually works out. What I found was that was really helpful was to actually do blogs or to actually do like a lot of videos myself to actually practice, and also to crowdsource with people on actual topics that they actually thought would be helpful. That
Mhm.
way that we can kind of see if something is too personal or if it is cringy. If we may think that something is really helpful, or we may think that we have a great idea, but that might not be what our desired audience actually wants to hear, what's actually helpful. Um,
Yeah.
so I thought that those are basically the things that have always been helpful for me. That's what's helpful for blog posts that we end up putting out. Is that really what is it that other people actually want to hear? Keeping it in a tone of how you would actually speak to your clients, and then keeping it that way, and really following the rules of disclosure. Like, is it really helpful?
Mhm.
Um, do you really feel like that would be a necessary thing? And also, it's the internet. Do you really want all your personal stuff out there?
Mhm.
They don't really need to know all the goodies
Yeah.
to actually want to work with you. You
Mhm.
know, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I think really putting it through that lens, I always put it through the lens of like, if my most dysregulated client saw this,
Mm,
would it cause harm? Would it be a problem in any way,
mm,
shape, or form?
mm-hmm,
I know that like when we see other kinds of influencers and even some of the therapy influencers, like there aren't a whole lot of boundaries sometimes, right? Like I don't need to know a lot about some people that I know. And
mm,
so we do have to have a different line. And that doesn't mean we show up as robots. It means we show up, I like to think of it as like creating content from a scar, not a wound.
Mhm.
So if there's something that you want to share that is relatable to your clients, because we also don't want to show up like everything is perfect in my life all the time, because nobody's going to trust you, and people will feel less than, which is the last thing we want our clients to feel around us. um, so I think probably for this person it comes down to thinking up, what are your content buckets, like what are the things you do talk about. Please expect to talk about the same three things over and over and over. You do not have to create new stuff constantly, just different angles on the same thing, which makes it so much easier than trying to like be super original. And to that end, like if you're just talking about the same three things over and over, what stories do you have about that that are fair to share? What experiences have you had over your life that don't feel too intimate? And as for the cringy stuff, like you don't have to dance or follow trends or do any of that stuff if it's not you.
Not at all. And also there's kind of a backlash a little bit of that. Like that some people don't really want to see that. And some
Hmm.
people are like, I really kind of would prefer if my therapist wasn't doing all that, which is
Hmm.
fine too. Some people like it, some people don't like it. So it's okay if you are there and you're just sitting at your desk, you're sharing something and you're sharing like some tips and that's what you're putting out there and it's consistent, then that's great. Um, but I think that we consistently have this thing where we have the imposter syndrome. We compare and contrast consistently with other people. And the reality is that some of the stuff out there, I mean, if they like it, that's great for them.
Hmm.
I probably wouldn't necessarily do some of that stuff, but it's okay. And, you know, but you don't have to do that if it doesn't feel good for you. And also, if it doesn't feel good for you, you're not likely to do it consistently anyway. So you
Hmm.
have to think about something that you're actually going to do consistently. And also, if being online in that way of doing social media doesn't feel authentic to you, and if you don't feel comfortable with it, then please don't do it because it's not going
Hmm.
to feel great and people are going to actually be able to kind of see that as well. The
Yeah.
content that you create is probably going to be canned or it's going to be something that you don't feel comfortable with. And so you stick with what you want and how you want your voice because you're also creating your own brand. And so you want to be able to kind of control that and be mindful of it.
Hmm. That's a great point, that a lot of people feel like they have to do social because they see therapists on social, and like you can have a huge thriving practice for the rest of
Yeah.
your life without ever being on social.
Yeah. I mean, I did social for 2020 to 2021. Um, and then I had some YouTube videos that I've still had up from 2018 and they're on my thing. And I have done zip zero since then. What's that?
Hmm. Hmm. And
6
you
years.
have a private pay group practice
I
and
have
you're
a
doing
private pay
great.
group practice and I'm doing great. I'm doing
Hmm.
great, guys. You don't have to do it. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thanks, Kim. We will have y'all's free worksheet. You can write the word sheets if you're watching this on social, or you can click the link in the show notes if you're listening on the pod. And we'll talk to you next week.